Education Minister Erica Stanford joins me now in the 3 News studio. Kia ora, Minister. Thanks for coming in today.
You're welcome.
So you said this change was bold, but it was needed. How's it been received today?
Extraordinarily well. I think parents have intuitively known that there was something not quite right about NCEA. You know, they knew that their kids weren't sitting exams, they were confused by the complexity of it, and I think today has been that relief of actually we were right. It can be better, and this is a much better proposal to set our kids up for success.
Okay, we're seeing actually a lot of positive feedback around going back to the A, B, C, D, E grading system.
Yeah.
But what happens for students that don't pass 4 out of 5 subjects? Will they be forced to resit that entire year?
Well, look, what we've said is you've got to sit at least 5 subjects and pass 4 of those. Now, if you were to pass 3 or 2 and you wanted to come back again the next year and complete your qualification, then we would be very encouraging of that. We know the longer that young people stay in school, the better.
Do you think that this new curriculum means that more students will fail, but those that pass will pass at a higher standard?
If we did nothing, yes. If we did nothing at our primary and intermediate, because you look at the huge reform program that is underway at the moment with structured literacy, structured maths, all of the explicit teaching, that complete turnaround, we are gearing kids up to be successful, and that's why we are now looking at what does our future qualification look like when these children have had the benefit of a knowledge-rich curriculum all the way through.
But you're happy with more children failing, more students failing in the meantime, you want it to be harder to achieve?
Absolutely not. We want to wrap around those young people as well. So we know we've got these young people coming through who are geared up for success. I also am aware of the young people, say in primary, upper primary and intermediate, who will need extra support. That's why next year we'll be putting 34,000 kids through additional maths tuition, for example. We've got some more announcements too. We have to wrap around those kids to get through a qualification. But I'll tell you what's worse, is giving them a qualification where they're not literate and numerate and they're going out into the workforce thinking that they've got NCEA but actually don't have the foundational skills they need to be successful.
We're hearing from teachers and principals today. I'm going to start that again. We're hearing from teachers and principals today that are worried that part of this plan is to cut back on the number of subjects that are being taught. How many subjects are going to be cut back and which ones?
We're doing a kind of a dual pathway at the moment. We're looking at the future of NCEA, the qualification part, and we're looking at the curriculum as well. And we have a lot of curriculum subjects, and that is a result of NCEA. So born out of NCEA, a lot more of them.
But what's going?
Well, we're making those decisions at the moment. We're out talking to the subject associations, we're talking with principals, we're getting a bit of an understanding of how many young people are actually sitting these and how many credits are they sitting them within those subjects, and getting a good view of which ones might need to be maybe brought together.
Yeah, you're going to have to be really clear on this though, right? Because teachers and principals, they're giving feedback on it within the next 6 weeks.
2 different things. They're giving feedback on the qualification. The curriculum is separate, and we'll be talking about that in the next few weeks about what the curriculum areas will be. So the 2 things are quite separate.
Okay, so on what will be studied, things like social studies, is that going to stick around or will that go? Because there are concerns that as much as 50% of the curriculum could be going.
Well, I've not heard that,
okay.
Not 50%. We are looking at what are some of the things that we might be able to combine where there are so few students taking that subject or taking a few numbers of credits within that subject, and where it makes sense. And we're looking at what overseas do as well.
Will teachers still have the flexibility within what they teach on a particular subject? Because of course they know about their students' needs and how to meet them.
Well, absolutely. If you take English, for example, we're not being overly prescriptive about what the texts are, for example. We've said you've got to teach a Shakespeare. You might do a sonnet, you might do a play. You need to teach a 19th century text, you can choose which one. You need to teach a New Zealand author, you can choose. And then you can build that package depending on the knowledge and interests of your students, but the core knowledge that they need to achieve over that year is set out in the curriculum. So there's quite a bit of flexibility in there, yes.
Okay, how will this new system help the most hard to reach kids, the kids that are struggling to turn up to school in the first place?
Well, there's a couple of things here. As I've already said, we're revolutionising what we're doing at primary and intermediate, so make sure that these kids are at curriculum feeling confident in their ability that they can go on to succeed, and they will. But also, we're making sure that there are lots of options for them when they are at secondary school, and that VET pathway, that vocational pathway is so crucial. That's the best part of NCEA. We've sucked out and gone, we're going to make it stronger, we're going to make it more credible, and we're going to make it on par with academic pathways, highly relevant to industry. So I'm really proud of that area, actually, to make sure that young people who don't want to go down an academic pathway and into university but want to be master builders or want to be master plumbers or tradespeople can also have a pathway that engages them all the way through secondary school.